What's happening, y'all? It's another one of these, the March edition of the Supervillain series. With me, resident supervillain. Y'all should know who I am by now. Um, I didn't even do the nice little pleasantries to the person I'm speaking with because I'm gonna do them all now because they came on here stunting, haircut, makeup did like almost like a Drake song, Drake lyric. You'll see you. Y'all see JoLene in here. I see you. I see
Hey,
you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was
Good.
tempted to like come in with my camera shut off as like the full on-air surprise, but I'm like, I'm lazy. I don't feel like
That's
working this out.
hilarious. You're like, yeah, that one little extra step. I don't feel like doing it. You look nice.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I had like an earlier video chat thing, and then later I'm going to Impact tapings. So,
Yeah, they're out there all weekend in like Philly all weekend.
yep, I went last
Yeah.
night and going again tonight because
How was last night's?
it was fun. I mean, Impact's always a fun time. Like
Okay.
they still have the best women's division, in my opinion. So, of the main three,
I
the
think
best utilized
that's
women's
what I was
division.
gonna say. I think it's the best utilized,
Yeah.
which is great, which is so wild to say because you would literally think, like, yes, AEW's is still fledgling. It's growing. They finally did something right, giving Thunder Rosa the belt. I don't know why they had to wait so long to do it. Whatever. No, we need her
Hometown.
to, huh?
Hometown win. That's basically what it came down to.
Oh, that's all it was.
That's what it feels like.
Ugh. I mean, I get it. That yeah, because they were in her home. They were in her hometown. They sure
Yeah.
were. Hometown win. She bleeds again. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like women bleeding. It's gonna be great. So
All right, but I feel like she should have been had it. I
look,
just
yeah,
don't.
yeah. Look,
I don't want to see her get. I don't want to see her give it right back to Britt Baker.
agreed. I feel like maybe she'll get like some time off. Like there's reports of her dealing with a wrist thing. So who
Uh,
knows?
who knows?
Uh but yeah, like Impact ever since like the Knockouts division started, they've been consistently used and consistently great. So
Somebody over there. I don't know if it's Josh Matthews. I don't know if it's Scott Demore. Somebody over there was like, "Yo, you have women wrestlers. Utilize your women wrestlers." And yeah, don't get me wrong. For a point, the WWE was doing it, and then it was like
I, something happened.
something happened because everybody was like, "Remember at that one point, we forget the revolution." It was just everybody was like, "Yo, they got the ladies out here killing the game," and then you just were like,
Yeah, like it was 2019 was the last time they felt like top of the world. Like, cause that was
"Yeah,
when Becky Lynch, had the Mania moment.
yeah." I mean, granted, so I mean, 2019, yeah, and you couldn't kind of say that the pandemic put a lot to a halt because yeah, by the end, pandemic happens. Becky decides I'm gonna go ahead and just have a baby. Like it's smart. I mean, it was smart in a sense because everything shut down, and it's just like Impact said, let's just take this over, and just they've done a great job.
Yeah.
I been
Wrestling
think,
aside, I
yeah,
know
wrestling aside,
because
but
we can talk that for days. We know this, like,
yeah,
cause
we can.
we love it.
I was watching before we started. I was watching the recent episode of The Flash.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know if you still watch The Flash. I know you watch
yeah,
Legends.
yeah. I watched all of them,
Okay.
even Batwoman.
So I'm watching it and Goldface pops up and I end up having to text. So that's my homeboy Damien.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, I'm the picture of the screen. I said, so I'm catching up on The Flash. And look who pops up on my screen. He was like, man, that was one of the only two times I left my house during the whole pandemic. Goldface.
I
Like,
love
I
his
don't blame
character.
you.
So, like, his character, like, he's like a silly bad guy, and like,
It works. And that's Damien is a silly dude. Like he can be serious, but Damien is a silly dude. And so he was telling me, he's like, they let him have fun, more fun with this one. I was like, bruh, the last time they put you and they showed that you were in a relationship with Emmett Black, y'all had fun. He was
it's,
like, no, I got to have way more fun with this one.
yeah, like that's what I like when Erebos embraces like comic books are silly. That's when I think it's like peak greatness. That's why I love Legends so much because it's just like, yeah, we say it all the time. Like there are no rules. Let's just go wild, see what happens, and
Yeah,
see
that's
if we
because half the
survive.
characters now I mean, we're almost at a point where most of these characters don't even exist in DC Comics anymore. We just
Yep.
got a team. We're almost just a team that does time traveling.
I'm trying to think. Is there anyone on the team that is not a comic book that is a comic book character? And I can't
Besides
even.
Sarah,
She's not in the comics.
nope, White Canary sure isn't.
Yeah. Well,
Sarah
there's a
Lance
White
isn't.
Canary. There's no
Sarah
Sarah
Lance
Lance.
isn't.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I'm
Oh my
thinking
god.
like, yeah, like, because you got Sarah, Ava, nope. Spooner, Astra, nope. Um, Bayrod, Zari, not really, but
Zari is.
inspired by. No, she's
Zari is inspired by ISIS.
yeah, but like the character was Adriana in the comics, so
Right. Yeah.
so like no, Booster Gold. There you go. There's the one.
There's the one. So I
And
guess
we don't even know if we're getting a season 8, which is like very frustrating.
it is crazy because I talked about it. You probably heard on the podcast how now he shows up. They did the thing in the Flash Museum. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. But I agree. When you sit there and realize, look, comics are silly. They're comic books, right?
Yeah.
But that's the issue per se with DC as a whole,
Yeah.
because they were always made with this dark, serious tone.
Yeah, like once Tim Burton made 89's Batman, and like basically the 80s changed a lot of the way comics are
Mhm.
written for a lot of people because, Miller and Moore wrote some like influential comics and everybody's like, we should always do that. And you don't
Mhm.
need to always do that.
Well, they've
Like as the
decided.
Peacemaker show proves, you don't always need to be serious.
So, and the crazy part about that is, I don't know if you heard about some of Gunn's interviews or just like things he's been quoted as saying. He said Peacemaker will be silly. Whatever the next one is won't be as silly. Because he's doing another spinoff. They haven't announced which one it is. But they said whatever one he
I feel like I
does,
heard about that. Yeah, yeah.
they just haven't announced it yet. So whatever what he said was not like Peacemaker was meant to be silly.
Mm-hmm.
This one won't. Peacemaker is arguably one of the greatest comic book shows
It's so
ever.
much. Look, Bat might exist in that world. It's the best.
Who's Bad Mite? He's a 2 foot tall imp that stands Batman.
It's so great. Like, because Gunn, historically, his favorite character is Batmite.
Really?
Yeah, he has said this in multiple interviews.
I
He
did not
loves
know that.
Batmite. I'm like, if you put Batmite in a show, that'd be the greatest thing ever.
To have a Batmite reference, I mean, again, he did stuff that was like, unless you were a comic fan, you were like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like he would have, again, he took, I argued with a dude, a comic about a week ago about this. And we were arguing about Peacemaker itself. I said, bro, you do understand James Gunn took a character no one knew.
Yeah, like no one cares about Peacemaker. Like
No
that's
one.
why you can change his backstory and no one cares.
You just added the fact of who the white dragon in the comics is his grandfather.
Yeah,
You
like
just made
his father was like a Nazi or his grandfather was a Nazi general in the comics, and then like
yeah,
he's haunted by him from time to time.
he's haunted by his
But like
ghost.
he wasn't raised. His father wasn't apparently a white supremacist. He was just some other person. And doesn't matter.
And it's like, again, nobody cares because nobody's like, oh, you changed the origin to Peacemaker. Like, shut
Fucking Peacemaker.
He's fucking Peacemaker. You'll be fine. You'll be fucking fine. So I was like I said, watching these shows and then seeing with Marvel. I'm excited for Miss Marvel.
It's a good trailer, I
Uh-oh.
I love
Uh-oh.
Stretchy, but
Yeah, I think that's the one thing everybody wants to stretch.
I understand the budgetary reasons behind it. Like if they don't probably if it can't look perfect, they don't want to do it. Combined with the weird idea that only Reed Richards can be stretchy, but that's dumb. So, like, if you want him
It's
to be the
weird
first one, you should have made that movie faster. But
but I think the problem is again, can you imagine being? I don't know if this is like too far fetched to think, but like you're Kevin Feige, you running Marvel Studios. This is 2010, right? You're onto something. Your movies are making money, and you're looking at, all right, what properties don't we have?
yeah,
What properties should we have? Well, you don't have the first family. You mean the X-Men? Somebody's like, Kevin, stop. No, the Fantastic Four. and then you see these movies come out, and you're like, God damn it! Like you got to wait because you know the rule of if they don't make if Fox didn't make a movie, I think it was like every 3-4 years or
Yeah,
something like.
like they retain the rights basically,
Yeah, they had to do a movie, and so then you get the Josh Trank Fan Four stick, and you're
Yeah,
just like, it could have done so much more.
yeah, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I'll still watch it because it looks good, and I still love comic book characters and television and film. So, and I can understand the idea of like, oh, we want to tie it, make them look closer together to the other Captains Marvels. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fine, but like, I don't know. I love stretchy powers in general, and like
Yeah,
Kamala Khan uses her stretchiness way differently than Reed Richards ever does.
yes, yeah.
And like,
She uses her
she shrinks
stretchiness.
down, she grows big.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does. She her the way she in the comics for a weird comparison for me. She uses it like a Green Lantern uses Will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That's how
get
she
you.
uses her stretchiness.
Yeah.
And so I guess that's kind of why they're doing the ban.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Plus, like, look, it's not easy to make stretchiness look good on live action.
No, it's not.
Like,
No.
I enjoy the 2004 Fantastic Four. I think the stretchiness works for the time. If you try to make actual skin stretch, that's when it looks freaky. If you make it like, I think the Flash did okay with Elongated Man because, like, when they use the suit, it's fine. It's like fabric that
You
looks
don't see the
whatever.
skin. You don't see skin doing it.
But, like, I also accept the budget of a television show for the CW, so
Right,
I
right, right.
don't care because it still gets the point across,
That is very
but a
true.
lot of people care, so
That is very true. A lot of people do. I mean, I'm excited for the next couple of months. I mean, between
so
that,
the Batman talk,
okay. Um,
I have a feeling that you also didn't really enjoy it?
I felt like like I said in the review I did with Blurs, it's too long. It doesn't
Mhm.
need to be. It does not. People even something like, oh, it had to be. No, it
No,
didn't.
there's it was 3 hours long, and there was still, like felt like there were scenes missing.
Yes, yes. They said it was a 4 hour test cut he did.
Jesus,
People
and
be
then
at no, that didn't need to be that fucking long. It didn't.
so, like, I think it was a very well made movie. Like, I understand why people like it. I think it's well executed, well acted for a lot of them. It's not for me. I did not have fun. I did not. I enjoyed Zoe Kravitz. I thought she
Yes,
was
I did.
great.
I enjoyed her very much.
But my feeling is like when I see Batman, I want to see him be good at things. He was a fucking idiot in this entire movie. Like he
No,
solved
but Jolene,
no.
he's a detective in
He
this
didn't solve
movie.
any single mystery.
He's a detective. I was like, what did he solve?
He figured out like Alfred started figuring out the one cipher and then he fully figured out the rest of it. He can't speak Spanish as good as the Penguin apparently.
Again, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is year two." I'm like, and this is my biggest.
Mm,
This is one of my big problems with this.
mm.
Yes, it's year two, right?
Yeah, when
You
Batman's already at the height of his greatness.
not even just that. Year two, Bruce is still juggling two identities. He has not given up on being Bruce Wayne yet.
Yeah, he never gives up on that. That's the point. Like, all right, and it's a weird thing. Now, outside of the Schumacher movies, because they're sequels to two other movies,
Mm.
it's so weird that and the Snyder one, because they either want to do the beginning of Batman's career or the end of Batman's career. Why not just do the middle of his career where he's like, I'm really good. I'm Batman. And when I say that, that means I'm really good at what I do.
For some reason, they feel like those stories can't be told. I don't know why.
It's
I agree with you.
be-
I highly
because
agree with you.
like like, all right, like some of the fight scenes were kind of cool. Like I like the end arena battle thing. That was neat. But like the bullet, talked about the bulletproofness before. I'm like, all right, or he could just be good enough to not get shot. Like he could use the shadows as a weapon.
As of what
Like,
he does,
yeah. And like that was a cool moment where like criminals were afraid of the shadows. I'm like, oh, that's neat. But then like it's
he didn't even have to be there. They just were like, he could be here.
yeah, they still got away with the crimes apparently, but like and then the weird like I'm gonna walk out of the shadows. I'm like, okay, but you could do ninja stuff. Or like, and like, what's the other cool thing was like seeing him save lives at the end when they're doing the whole like the
Yeah, yeah.
flooding. I don't know why the stadium was chosen as like the gathering point since it seems to be even further below sea level, but
Which again, I'm like some of the, so the stadium, the place they use is, if I'm not mistaken, it's the State Building in Chicago. Now it's the
yeah, no, like
Thompson Center.
it's so obviously filmed in Chicago.
He was like, he tried to do is take B-roll from like 6 different cities, so you quote unquote couldn't tell. But I was like, bruh, that's Chicago.
Yeah, it's
Like I
and
know
like
some of the things were like London and some of the things were like that, and I get it. But I was like, overall, the Chicago aesthetic has been always since Nolan said, "Yo, this is what we can use."
yeah, that's why like I get it. Filming in LA is expensive. Build a set, build a soundstage. Make Gotham look as ridiculous as it did in Burton and Schumacher's movies. And then I'm like, all right, this looks like an insane world that does not exist in the real world.
But again, that goes back to what we were just saying earlier. It's a comic book movie. It doesn't have to be that goddamn serious.
Yeah, that's I know. Like
It's they make Batman so serious. You like, oh, so the dude who decided to dress up like a bat is the best thing to happen ever. And the bad guys,
and it's like it's been 2 years and crime is worse than ever. Oh, so he hasn't done anything.
anything. You notice, okay, you
And
noticed that
like
too. When he said that, it was
everyone
like,
calls him Vengeance or the Vigilante, except for one newspaper and himself late in the movie. I'm like you'll know he's dressed like a bat, right? Why aren't you calling him Batman? You have a signal.
he is the Batman. Also, again, I'm still, this one still is a big pet peeve to me. I don't care how much people try to justify it. The him walking around police officers. I don't give a
I
shit
hated
if
it.
he is cool with Jim Gordon. He is still a criminal.
Like the whole opening scene. Why is he following Gordon? And like he could just step out of the shadows. That's easier to film.
Also,
It'll
you
cut
just walk
time.
past a bunch of cops. How you doing? How's your mama? Did you get what?
Like
No.
he gets knocked unconscious from the explosion and he wakes up back in police
I'm,
custody and he wasn't already unmasked.
no, the whole transportation time, we was just gonna sit him in the car and just be like, no, 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 let him keep it on.
Makes no sense. Like and like the mystery, like it's a detective story. Is it though? Because no one solved the mysteries. The Riddler only gets caught because he lets himself get caught.
He let himself. There's not a solving. How did you write? What crime was solved? Because he was like and then even you like, oh well, he figured out his plan.
No,
No,
he didn't.
he didn't. He stumbled on the Riddler's plan. Even the Riddler was mad. He didn't.
And he's like,
You ain't get there bright
"Oh,
as a clock.
let me tell you what's about to happen. Explosions." Like there's a whole freaking third act that does not need to exist. Like Riddler get caught, like you want to save time, like oh no, just I would have been fine with like, oh, you mean those bombs that you had set up? Yeah, I already disarmed them. And they're like,
Yeah,
fair, done. And at least then Batman would have looked like he accomplished something.
right. If he'd have came into into the cell in Arkham, and when he first of all, because I still to this day, everybody was like, "Oh no, he doesn't know." I was like, "Why does everybody have to know who the hero is?"
Oh my god,
Because
it's the
we kept.
worst.
It seemed like, if I'm not
They
mistaken,
were playing it and I was getting angry.
so
I was
you're with me on this one. When he
yeah.
was like, "I know," and all this other stuff, I was
Yeah,
like,
just kept saying Bruce Wayne over and over again. Then he's like, he's the only one that got away.
"Wait, you don't know?"
Yeah, that's not how people talk. So
Yeah, because the way you keep going, Bruce, that says I know who you are.
yeah,
That
like
doesn't say you never say he's the one that got away. Huh?
yeah, that's
Okay. People are too busy trying to wrap themselves up and not find. Look, every movie has flaws. Every movie. But people try to act like, oh, this is a perfect thing.
no.
No.
Look, you found these photos of the Russian woman that may or may not have been lovers with Selena. That's unclear. That was never verified. She just cares about her. Um, and her with the mayor, I think. And like you can see, you were able to tell. Oh, these were taken outside the Iceberg Lounge. you never once decide to study where well, let's study the angle of this shot if they were taken outside. It's like, so, all right, if I'm here and the camera was there, oh, look, there's an apartment building. Like, you don't investigate that. Like, that's not that's not rocket science.
His also the bat suit must be the most tiniest thing in the world.
It packs it up in his little backpack.
You noticed that too, right?
Like,
The bat suit is in a book bag. I was like, wait, he's not Spider-Man.
it's
It's
so
not
dumb.
just it's
Is
not just spandex he puts on.
I wish it was like it should be, but um, because my long-standing thing, Batman needs to be able to pull off his shirt in the desert so he can sword fight Ra's al Ghul in just his mask and shirtless and tights. Like that's the
That's fair.
Batman costume I want.
Not the Batman that looked like he take 2.5 hours to get undressed.
Yeah, and, like, it was funny, like, cause like, when he goes and meets Selena breaking into the thing, and they do the thing, and then, like, she follows him back to a place, I'm like, "Does he repack up everything into his little backpack when she follows him on her motorcycle? Cause like, he really doesn't wanna drive around with that cape, apparently."
You okay? So the only time we see him really drive with the cape is at the end.
Yeah, exactly, when, like, they're doing he's following
Their
her, and they
Fast
go
and
to
Furious
Steppenwolf.
thing. When they did it, because I was like,
Dumb.
wait, every time. So we just okay. So
The
also,
Batmobile has, like, one scene for no real
and
reason,
again,
and then,
people get
like,
mad, but I'm like, I need people to stop hyping this up like it was the greatest thing you ever saw. The Batmobile is seen one time for
yeah.
like 7 minutes.
It's cool. It's like I like the design of it, sure. But then like it's like, "Oh, he saves lives." I'm like, "There's a whole explosion on the highway where he didn't save anybody's lives. He just drove right past everyone."
He drove past every again. Batman killed. According to this, Batman causes more death and destruction than anything else
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre. And then of course, everyone's hated scene is the Riddler Joker thing. I'm like, "Oh my god."
because it's unnecessary.
Yeah, they could have just cut that out. You didn't
Also,
need to cut
you are
back to
not going
Paul
to put the two
Dano.
of them. I'm
He
sorry.
made
Go ahead.
choices that I didn't enjoy, other people did, I don't get it. Like, his weird wheezing, whining, high-pitched thing, I'm like, "Okay, buddy. Why are
Here's my
you the
here's my
Zodiac
thing.
killer?"
Here's my thing. If you so Batman has already caught the Joker before, right? This is what we're
Apparently,
basically
that's
telling.
what they're saying.
That's what we're telling. The last thing you're going to do in Arkham is put those two motherfuckers side by side.
Yeah, like, unless that's the next cell, like, why don't fucking I don't
They are not going to be in
that's a
cell where they
weird
can.
setup, Arkham, it's where it's the big circle, but that's beyond whatever.
I
Ugh.
just did. It's just again certain choices,
Like,
and I don't get it.
there's a like, he left some riddles, but barely. But if they just called this character Anarchy, it would have made a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, because you didn't need. He didn't. First of all, we're gonna call him Edward Nashton. Why? Just
Well,
call him Edward
yeah,
Nigma.
yeah,
Made sense because it was Enigma,
yeah. Like,
a
but I
riddle.
get it. That's his actual name in the comics, and then he changed it. But like, whatever. Like, that's cute. And some people are excited because like Batman pumps himself full of venom. They assume with the green fluid, as setting up like maybe Bane for the future. I'm like, that could just read as adrenaline to anyone that
It's
doesn't know.
adrenaline.
Yeah. Well, adrenaline doesn't look like a glowing green liquid,
But
so
if that was the quick way, oh, so Batman's a drug addict, and now he shoots himself up with venom.
yeah, I mean, maybe, who knows? But
Also,
like,
I didn't like the whole Selena Falcone thing
oh my god, I
because
fucking hate it. I hate it so much. Selena Kyle's my favorite character, and longest time she's her own person. She's not related to anyone. She wasn't trained by anyone like important in Gotham City. Jeff Loeb comes along and makes Long Halloween, and the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing people that this was a good book. Because it is not. The art is incredible. Tim Sale's amazing. Jeff Loeb is a bad writer.
it
There is
is.
they present itself as the one of the best mysteries. I'm like, there's no mystery. There's no mystery in this book. Who is the holiday killer? I guess Harvey Dent's wife. Why? We don't know.
Fucking a,
So
because it was
like
just like
the
that
Selena
whole
Falcone.
Falcone shit. Because I was like, okay.
Is he
So
friends with
Falcone
her?
used
Did
to.
she sleep with him? Because that's
Okay, I think everybody keep being like, "Oh no, she wouldn't sleep with her dad." He didn't know.
yeah. Do you see the way he's touching her face? Like,
Nothing about that said that they did not. I haven't seen you in a while. Nothing about that didn't say they didn't sleep together.
yeah, it's ugh.
And I was like, okay. And then because it was like, oh, well, he knew. No, he didn't find out till she said, "Hey, dad." He didn't even know.
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, I'm Maria Kyle's daughter," and it's like, "Oh, oh."
Oh shit. Right. No, look, he was like, oh shit. So it
And then,
really.
like, I also don't like her Catwoman, one of the characters that does not kill in comics. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill. I'm definitely gonna try to kill people. I want to kill this cop. I want to kill Falcone's bodyguard, and I want to try to kill Falcone.
Just because we want to keep, again, yes, I understand, and for those watching, I understand we can take liberty per se with certain characters, and you can change who they are a little bit or whatnot. But sometimes I think the core value of a character needs to always stay the same.
Yeah, like one of the other things that like I thought of after was like, all right, so Catwoman can either have the whip or be a cat burglar, but she can never have both apparently. Cuz like Batman Returns, she got the whip. It's super iconic in that movie. She's not a
Yeah, but
cat
she's not a
burglar.
cat burglar at
Yeah.
all.
Dark Knight Rises, she's definitely a cat burglar. She's shown doing that multiple times. Doesn't have the whip. This movie, they show her being a burglar like the one time, but you never see her really using a whip at all. I think maybe like in the one junkyard scene where she's trying to drive, but I'm like, was that a chain? Is that a whip? I don't know, but
Yeah,
like
I
it
think it
is.
was something maybe implied as a. I don't think it was a whip per se. Also, you just gonna put 3 cats in the back of a moped and drive off? That's what we're gonna do? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
look, cat cat briefcases work, so I don't.
Yo, you need to. He told her you need to leave here after the place is ransacked. No, I'm good. Huh? What? No. That didn't make when like after her friend got kidnapped and everything, and the place is ransacked. He was like, "I think you should leave." Oh my. Okay, I see
Yeah,
that. That is mine.
and like it's like the Gotham City idea of like you live in a city where you know there's like a mass vigilante and you were just in the same room with that mass vigilante and you clearly don't have a good poker face because you looked shocked and surprised when you saw your Russian girl in the pictures and Batman's in the room. So you're just gonna go home where all the windows are wide open, then anybody can look through.
You
It's
just
like,
gonna go home and not only you just go home, we can see you completely change. You changed it to your Catwoman shit in front of your homegirl too. On top of that,
and like you got this really fancy costume, but you just got a little ski mask. Like, I don't understand, like, the costuming reasoning behind that. Like, no, that jumpsuit she has is fancy looking. That looks expensive. You didn't give her like you just give her a little ski cap?
with pointy ears,
Like,
though
the pointy ears are fine, but it makes no sense.
she has the
Like,
pointy ears, though.
yeah, like at least if they want to do Batman's early years, why not just adapt Batman Year One? It's like the best Batman story.
But that's the
Be-
problem because we keep hearing about. I agree because it's like, hey,
it's a
there's one
Jim
thing. Number
Gordon story too, which makes it even more interesting.
one, I don't think we want to see. We don't want to see his parents die again,
They
which
don't
is.
die in that.
Oh yeah, he's already right. Year one means he's already. This is look.
This
I'm
is the
here.
first year of him as Batman. Like creating the bat suit, like it's got the iconic scene from the Nolan movies where all of the bats come out so he can like escape the cops that are hunting him down. But like what's important about that scene is like Selina's there and she's like, "Yeah, I think I want to do this too, except, be a criminal." Like that's the reason she's a cat burglar. She saw him out with the cops and like, "I'm already pretty good at stealing stuff. I think I want to be like, up the game." Like that's why she's Catwoman.
Dude, I just don't. I again, everybody's like, well, he's planning a trilogy for this,
Ugh.
which means I get another 3 hour movie. Somebody asked me, oh, you got to watch it a second, third time to see really enjoy everything.
It's so long.
I don't need to sit through 3 hours. I will wait if I'm gonna watch it again once it comes back up on HBO Max, which is in like about 2 weeks.
Yeah, April. Yeah,
Then,
sometimes
then I
it's
can pause it, go to the bathroom, sit back down, readjust myself,
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's funny, like, I told my friend, I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so," like, 'cause I had tickets for, like, the Sunday morning show. I'm like, "Oh, like, this Saturday night, showing, like, I can get a seat all by myself way in the back of, like, the big screen. Maybe I'll do it now," and my friend's like, "I don't think you're gonna like this movie," like, and she hadn't seen it. She lives in England, so, like, she was in
Mm.
Greece at the time, but, like, she's like, "Yeah, no, like, knowing what I know about you and your love of, like, the silly over the topness of comics and, like, the trailers," I'm like, "Yeah," I was like, I was hearing great things from other people, so I'm like, "Alright, I'll go in with open mind." But then, like, right away, Punisher War Journal starts, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't care."
I was like, oh, so we really gonna bring the kid who plays Tim Drake in and put him in this movie too?
Oh, yeah,
The-
like, I didn't know about that, whatever. So, like, okay,
Well, because I'm
good
like,
for
did
the
you
actor,
do it?
get money, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at him getting money, but I'm like, are you trying to low key like, no, see, he's in Titans, and we brought him in the Batman, like, because there was a reason. Again, it's just certain choices, and I understand directorial choices, excuse me, are a thing, but it's just like, what?
Yeah, like, we've complained up and down about the director talking about this movie, as being gritty and realistic, but, like, I don't know. Also, like, you're keeping those journals and you just write them in regular old English that anyone can read? Like, like, Batcave in the middle of the city is a thing that I'm like, "Ugh, whatever, okay, I guess
It
it's for
makes
you to
that's
get
what I was
there
like.
eas."
I get it because of where it's under Wayne Tower, but also, how is it no one knows?
Yeah, like, this is the thing in Batwoman that drives me crazy. I'm like, "Is the only Batcave in Wayne Enterprises? Because that doesn't make sense. Because then
That's
when you
another
think of
thing. Yeah, where's Wayne Manor? Like the Batcave for him is under Wayne Tower. It's not at Wayne Manor.
yeah, like, and the Batwoman of in the Batwoman world, it's even funnier because, like, alright, so, like, if Bruce is home late at night in Wayne Manor, does he gotta drive to work, go up to his office, and then go down to the Batcave? Because that's a fucking waste of time.
Somebody's in trouble. I'll be there in 35 minutes. Why? There's traffic. What? Like
Like, I love the idea of the Batmobile. It can only exist in a world of comics because traffic doesn't work in a world where the Batmobile exists. The
no.
motorcycle, sure, no problem. You see people weave in and out of traffic all the time. But, like,
Also,
this movie
Batman
ups
would be
I
hit.
hated
I'm
this movie.
That's another thing about comic books, and especially Batman. He weaves in and out of traffic a lot on the bat cycles, right?
Hmm,
In real life, somebody would have clipped his ass.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's good at what he does. That's why, like, the thing is, like, the thing I always argue, don't try to treat superheroes as if they exist in the real world. It doesn't make sense. They are fictional characters that live in a fantasy world.
I think
It's like the Bruce Wayne could do more. Like, no, he can't. He's not a real character.
also Bruce Wayne. They always this is how you try. They always try to justify Bruce Wayne now doing more. Thomas Wayne was a philanthropist, and every time, in every story that has ever said Thomas Wayne was doing this and that did stuff for Gotham, every story turns around and says, "Well, Thomas Wayne was really an asshole,"
I fucking hate
and
that too.
he
Fucking
was
hate that too.
it was like you notice that too. Every time they
Yeah.
do that, Thomas Wayne was this great person for Gotham, and he believed in the future, and blah 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 blah. And 45 minutes later, so here's the truth about Thomas Wayne: he got a bunch of bitches on the side. What? Like,
Yeah. It's the the elements I hate the most from the Telltale Batman game and Long Halloween in the one movie. I'm like, oh god. Nobody like Here's the thing about the Waynes. The only reason they matter is to die, to inspire Bruce to become a superhero. Like, nobody cares about like, "Oh, here's they're secretly evil," because it's not interesting. It's not gonna go anywhere.
I think that's the biggest thing. 'Cause they always make it seem like whenever they do it in TV or film, wherever they do it, or even comics, whenever they try to do this whole top, the Wayne family had this biggest thing. It doesn't change who Batman is at
Yeah, like
all.
that's the thing about, like, parents of superheroes. They mostly don't if they're adult heroes, the parents mostly don't matter. Like, the Kents are cool because they're still around in some stories, but, like, Jor-El, Laurel, nobody cares about them. So stop trying to make people care about them because it's boring. Like, I'm here to read about Superman. Like
The
Billy, like
we need to know
sh-
the inspiration that they have. We need to know what motivates them. Stopping crime and Batman don't want to go to therapy.
yeah,
That's
like stuff where it's cool, like Shazam in the movie, The Foster Family. That's great. You've made me care about this. This is neat and interesting. But they are still children. That's why it's more important.
right. They're kids who understand. We get powers and we get to be grown-ups for a moment, but we're kids. Like we can't say a word as kids. We fucked.
Yeah,
Like
like who cares about Hal Jordan's parents? Honestly. Like if they suddenly went like, oh, like my dad, I'm like, yeah, your dad was a test pilot. Good for him. He inspired you. The end.
I'm doing this for my father. You didn't even like your father.
Yeah, like I mean, like even with Spider-Man, your parents are Aunt May and Uncle Ben. Like Richard and Mary Parker do not marry. It
That
matter.
was again the Amazing Spider-Man. I was like, no, no, no.
Oh
Again,
yeah, have they tried to like your parents were spies or whatever, like that old comic, and then they just forgot about that plot point.
they were like, your parents are spies. Okay, what else? They work for Oscorp. No, 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 no. Go back. They were spies. There's more to the spy shit, right?
Yeah,
No, that's it.
like
They were spies.
and it's funny in the comics. I forget which writer brought it back, but like, oh yeah, and here's your secret sister. What? She still exists in Marvel Comics. He has a Peter Parker has a secret agent's sister that exists in the world. And I'm
Excuse
like,
me.
she's a cool
What?
character, but like, what? I
Excuse
feel
me.
like,
What?
yeah, exactly.
You- There's certain things you just don't need to do. Like, oh, I got two things that arrived. Oh,
Hell yeah, deliveries.
well, no, because I knew that
I just
my
got a bunch
doorbell
of.
rang and I buzzed something in, and I was like, okay, I guess it's my I was like, I guess it's my I bought a mount, a TV, the dual mounts for my desk because I got
Mhm.
the two monitors now, and
Hell
I
yeah.
realized having them sit on the desk takes up too much room on the desk.
Ah,
So
smart.
I just bought the bracket mount so I can put them on there.
Hell
But
yeah.
also I bought a pair of jeans from Old Navy a couple days ago because they was on sale, and I was like, oh, Old Navy jeans for $20. I'm doing this.
Yeah, hell yeah. I
And
mean,
then
like,
I bought them, and I was like, wait, why are these in small guy sizes?
ooh.
So like I wear a 38 or 40 depending on the jeans, but these jeans were made like they should have been a 36. I was like, nah, bro, nah. Don't tell me these are loose fitting and they're not. I was like, these are still
Yeah, I bought my first. I ordered my first women's style T-shirt the other day. I'm like, all right, double X. That's what I buy in stores. This is my first like women's fit. I'm like, oh, these are so much smaller. I didn't realize how a women's fit is so
really.
much smaller than just like a regular off the store like T-shirt in the
You know
women's
what's
section.
crazy? Because of the structure, the body structure they base everything off of for men and women. Everybody is based off somebody like this.
It's weird.
And then everything else, like, well, what about plus size? Like, no, how about you just get the average size? Because everyone isn't like this without
Yeah,
either.
fashion industry, you suck. Like, that's not like, hey, that's
It's
not
so
average.
terrible.
Yeah.
So what else is going on with you?
I mean, didn't I should have brought this up earlier. I hit my 1 year anniversary of HRT 2 weeks
Congratulations.
ago. I got my hair done that day.
Oh, so that's what the hair. This was a celebration for you.
Yep. I got the side and back shave and got it dyed. Wanted to go for the full Rachel Lighton look.
How do you feel?
I might fucking love it. It's so great. Like looking in the mirror every day I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh shit, my hair. Oh god, I look so good. And like the dye is washing out, obviously,
Mhm.
sadly, 'cause, it happens so fast. But like, I'm like, oh, but
How long does
I
it?
still love
How
it.
long does it? How long does it take to wash out?
I don't know. They say like 6 to 8 weeks or
Oh,
4 to 6 weeks, but like they also say don't wash your hair with shampoo every day. Maybe do it every third day. So I'm like,
okay. Because then
that
you get
first
it out
time I
real
did it
quick.
like the second day, I'm like, oh, this was a bad idea. Like, wow, there's a lot of red in the water.
So you've been a year in on HRT. You've been. I remember when we started these. For those who can go back and watch, you were trying to start the process. COVID happened and slowed everything, put everything to a standstill. And so now it's been a year straight. How do you feel being you?
Oh, mentally, it's such a good spot. Like, And like I've been testing out like my new breast forms. I don't they're probably not new anymore, but like they're like a double D and I'm like, "Oh, yes, I love these."
Mm.
Like this is I will probably end up getting, in breast enhancement surgery. Like the one therapist said this should be covered. I mean, it's part of transitioning. So I'm like, "All right." So I'm like, "All right, yeah, money." One friend is uh like giving me info for a job to apply for, like where I'll be making 12,000 more a year. So another
Mm.
friend's helping me with my resume for that. Hopefully I get that. That'd be great. More money.
Oh yeah,
And like, cause my friend's also trans. I'm like, yeah, no, the benefits are great for us. So a lot of stuff's covered.
that's good. That's good. It's I like I said on the episode of the podcast. This has been so informative.
I know. Yeah. I was like, I mean, talking about, I love hearing myself talk about it cause I'm vain. So,
Because it is. It's been very. Like I said, to watch the process and then hearing about like how now health insurances are covering transitions.
mhm.
That was such a back in the day. It was such a elective procedure. It was something you choose to do. You got to do this. You better come up with the money yourself, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Yeah. I had, the realization, I don't know if it was before or after the last time we talked, but like I had an HSA card, like all health savings account where like
Yeah.
part of my paycheck goes to that, company matches up to it or something. I forget. And then like I was like, "Oh, it's empty. Oh, I should not have been paying for my prescriptions with that all this time because there used to be a lot of money in that.
Oh,
Prescriptions are expensive on a monthly basis."
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Whereas like talking to a friend in England, he's like, yeah, and like, I was reading all my 4 prescriptions, and he's like, "Yeah, that'd probably be around like, I don't know, $40 for us a month." I'm like, "One of my prescriptions alone is $50." So, I
Whew.
wish I had that England.
Swear, the biggest ripoff in human society is the pharmaceutical
Yeah. Like,
industry.
yeah, it sucks.
And it's the
But,
crazy thing. It's like
like,
we,
I'll
we
pay
want to make
because
money,
yeah, I wanna exist as I want to exist. So
right?
yeah. And seeing my other friends that, like, have come through all the transition, I'm like, "God, you're so hot. I can't wait to get there."
Well, I mean, you're closer and closer.
Hell yes, I am.
Yeah, you know what
I
I'm
had my
saying?
first, mark pick with a wrestlers last night with, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Maria Kanellis.
Yeah,
So, like, I was like, thankfully, one of the pictures turned out well, but I'm like, "I don't know where to look. I forget where you hold my camera," and, like, my face
that's
was but,
hilarious.
like, going in full femme mode is, like, the first time I'm getting a picture with wrestlers with that like that, so
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, shit, this is a big moment."
Oh, nice. I thought you had done it. I know you'd gone to shows, right?
Yeah, but, like, I wasn't wearing, like, breast forms then,
Ah, gotcha,
because,
gotcha,
like, it
gotcha.
was the height of summer, and I'm like, "I'll do my makeup," but, like
Okay,
those are heavy and, like, silicone, I'm like, "I might be dying of sweat." I don't so, like, I
gotcha.
don't
That
it
makes
was
sense. Gotcha, gotcha,
fucking
gotcha.
so hot last night too, so
I know
fucking
that arena. I
the
know that
weather
arena.
is insane.
What's the weather like out there now?
It's, like, high 60s going into 70s,
But
and,
also,
like, 2 days
I know
ago
that
was in,
arena.
like, the 40s.
I know that arena though. That
Yeah.
arena.
Oh,
That
yeah.
arena.
You get in there with the unwashed masses, it's so terrible. For, like, a
I
lot of the matches, I was just hanging out in the lobby with 2 other friends, and thankfully, they're showing the matches on some of the screens, so
because for some reason, I don't know why. I wish I still understood this because I just went through this a couple of weeks ago. For some reason, wrestling fans, namely the guy ones, namely the heavier guy ones, feel like they don't need to bathe.
yeah, it's look, wrestling fans, gaming convention fans, most convention people,
Oh, do
let's
not get me started at Comic Cons.
I
Oh my
haven't been to a
god.
Comic-Con, I just been to many gaming conventions, so I know what that's like too, and, like
Oh my god.
and, like, Friday, I was willing to give I'm like, "Alright, Friday, I'll give a lot of you some leeway because if you're coming straight from work, you might not have time or whatever," but that's me being generous. Like, I'm at like granted, I work till 3:30, so, like, just carpooling with a friend, so I had time to take a shower. So, my friends, like, they work further north and, like, All right, we had time to get home from our job, change, and then drive the 45 minutes down here before like barely getting there before the matches start. So
I guess it depends on the job. I think sometimes it's just too like pre-planning. So like for me, for instance, tonight, I have to go do 2 or 3 shows before I have to go to work, right?
yeah,
So I'm literally, this is something I rarely do. I rarely wear jogging pants or like joggers on stage. I'm wearing one of my hoodies and some joggers and doing the shows. But I also bring baby wipes and deodorant. So once I'm in the job changing, putting on my work clothes, I can wipe myself down.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anything I'm
Like,
sweating
oh,
and all that.
smell a little better.
And I think it's just the plan for me. It's just the planning ahead of that. It's also I know I'm gonna be fucking exhausted. Last night, I had a show. I was just tired in general. My body has just been because I've been going. I was sitting in front of the computer all day yesterday morning because I had to wait on Winston because he was so dealing with so much he didn't get the thumbnails to me, so I couldn't edit the clips. But I bought for the first time in I don't know how long. I bought one of those Starbucks triple shot energy in the cans,
Hmm.
but I bought the one with zero sugar in it. Oh my god. It was way better than the one I would have normally gotten with sugar in it.
Oh, cool.
This shit was so strong. I was around here for like at first, when you take like caffeine or something before it hits you, like, here we go. 35 minutes to the nightclub. I just was like, okay. And then I had a random woman put cotton candy in my mouth 4 times.
Oh, okay. That could be unnerving
Here's
at
what
times.
let me tell you what happens, and I'll let you go after this because this is something wild that happens. So as a man, I understand boundaries. I understand respect, consent, all the basic things, right? Keywords, basic. Women, however, are by far the most sexually aggressive people in nightclubs I've ever seen in my life.
Hmm.
From not just with some dudes, but with other women. I have watched women be like, "Yo, can she get up off me?" I'm like, "Damn." But I've also had older women always want to grab and rub on me. And if I was here's the joke part, if I was a lesser man, I'd be complaining. But also, I still am like, yo, this gets wild because I'm at work and I can't do nothing back.
Yeah.
Like I've had women just start groping me legitimately. I'm like, ma'am, if you don't stop touching my titties.
Whew. Yeah, that's ugh, would not like.
It's and again, I get, you get here's why I say get used to it. As a wrestler, having people grab you, touch you, the whole shit. When people see, like, COVID did the greatest thing ever for a lot of WWE wrestlers for a while when they had the fans separated so far from the barricade. So it was like you would see wrestling. You knew a certain wrestler's mindset by who would reach out to fans and who wouldn't, who would just play to them. Like when Riddle would start leaning up on the guard post, everybody was like, "Bro, it's still a pandemic. Stop. What are you doing?" Like,
Fuck that guy. So
but you have people who do all those things.
yeah, the Austin Aries of the world as well.
Look, don't get me started on him. Please don't
Wait,
get
don't
me.
you want to control your narrative?
You mean Proud Boys Wrestling?
Yeah, yeah. The feeder ground for NWA probably. Look, you've got what's his face from Fox there that has
Who?
multiple allegations against him.
Who?
Funkasaurus Rex, whatever his
Oh,
name.
oh, 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 Tyrus, Brodus Clay. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a star over there.
yeah, yeah. He's like one of
And
the champs, I think.
yeah, and I was like, my thing is the allegation things and one thing. I guess because it's Fox News, they don't care because again, Matt Gates supposedly slept with a 16-year-old and drove her across state lines and shit like that. And we supposedly just casually forgot about that, right?
Ezra Miller choked a woman, so
Look, at this rate, that's why the Flash ain't coming out.
I feel like there's enough trailers that I'm like, well, this has to happen at some point.
I just don't understand why they pushed it back though to next year.
Who knows?
Because it's done.
Then
It's
I have even less answers.
that you see what I'm saying? I mean, different story was like, yo, they're still in production and this, that, and the third. But like now Black Adam doesn't come out till the Christmas season
Of next year? Because
of this
Shazam
year.
dude's coming out before that, I thought.
Because Black Adam was supposed to come out in July.
Oh, okay.
Now it's not coming out till the end of the year.
Okay.
Shazam's coming out early. Aquaman got moved to next year. And they're done for again. And people who are idiots, which I don't know if you saw, and I'm letting you because you're one of the people I love talking about this. You know, the restorative thing was trending yesterday.
No, I don't. And I was better off not knowing.
Okay, well now you know. Because it was the 1 year anniversary of them announced. It was not 1 year, the anniversary of them announcing that they was doing the movie.
It's not an anniversary.
And so
Not something worth celebrating.
It's nothing worth celebrating at all. And so people are like, oh, Discovery's going to do this and blah, blah, blah. Discovery's not doing shit. I don't know why people don't think. I don't know why people don't get. No executive wants to deal with that.
Yeah. Like, people talk about the idea of I'm going to say, director's cut of Suicide Squad, because fuck that whole so-and-so version, or the blank cut. Like, yeah, a director's cut. That's just what it is. Like, I'd see it if it existed, but I'm not clamoring for it. Like, could it really be that different? Who knows? Is it Blade Runnered? If there's no cut, don't care. This is what we got.
It doesn't make Cara Delevingne any better. Because
I don't think. I don't even think she's the worst acting in that movie. I'm pretty sure Rick Flag's the worst acting in that movie, and then he's great in the gun version.
You know, I was like, when they said when they told me they were bringing.
That's how we talk. Stab her in the heart.
When they said they were bringing him back for the Suicide Squad, I literally was like, there were two people saying, shoot him and Captain Boomerang in the face. I literally said, shoot them in the face.
And they do die. And I felt bad for Boomerang because I'm like, I was hoping I was getting to enjoy you. Like, you're kind of fun.
It was a little, he picked up a little bit. I was like, okay, maybe. Then he was like, oh.
You have a little camaraderie with Harley. That's cute, you know.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna blow. Oh, you dead. Okay. Mm-hmm. You made sure there's no, he's gone. And then Rick Flag, they made him so much better. He was like, what? What the fuck?
Yeah. God, Boomerang, he's such a stupid, silly character that I will always love. Like, Arrowverse made him like the biggest badass in the world.
Arrowverse did him well. But you know, it's for every character the Arrowverse does well, they do probably two wrong.
Yeah, sure.
But you know,
like, I mean, they had their whole Suicide Squad and had to stop because of the movies. They had to kill them all.
Which is so crazy. But and you know what's so messed up about that too? Is this is the same company who every time they do a movie that doesn't connect will tell you other worlds, right? Other worlds. They'll quickly do that.
Yeah.
So you're like, so why can't the Suicide?
I wish like that I was an executive so I could hear the discussions about the whys of all this. And also so I could try to influence what I wanted to get made.
Listen, tell the people how they can find you, show you love, and compliment your hair, makeup, and everything wonderful you got going on.
You can find me on Twitter at JoLene00negative. I sometimes Twitch stream also at JoLene00negative. I think I'm on Instagram, JoLene00negative.
So. I love that. I think. I'm not sure. Probably am. I'm not sure.
I'm on Instagram. I think that's the name. So
that's hilarious.
I post. So
y'all know where to find me because you're here. Look, stay tuned for more. And don't forget, I'm going to say these through all of these till they've happened. The live blurts is happening June 18th, Saturday in Hollywood at the Bourbon Room. Ticket information will be coming out soon. So by the time you hear or see these, we should have the info on the tickets and everything. But please, get ready to lock that in. Holla at y'all next time. Stay tuned. I'm out. Don't go nowhere. Bye.